Hello. It's a very, very, very wet Tuesday. And being from Scotland, I'm like, yay, bring it on. So it's probably much needed, this rain, because quite frankly, I have to let my eyes readjust. I'm like, ooh. Because quite frankly, we're still sitting in drought situations, and that's never good. So our ponds will fill up, and all the dust and debris that's been all over the driveways, it'll all be washed off. Carlene, I'm sure, will have put a strip of washing liquid down the things that she's got hanging over her fence, so that they get cleaned as well. It's been really very heavy, which is neither here nor there, because tomorrow it's going to be back up in the 80s. Blah, bah humbug. And I am still remembering the deepest, darkest days of winter with the ice and the snow, and thinking, oh, how lovely. But we'll get there. And I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. We had, I think, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th for the fireworks. And the reason I know that is because I have a dog that is absolutely terrified of fireworks. And we spent a considerable amount of time with her, trying to keep her calm. And she can hear fireworks that you can't even detect. So it was a very trying time for poor old Gracie. It's not her favourite time of year. But it is what it is, and we all survived it, so that is good. I'm nowhere near a farm right now because I am in Beverley, and my daughter has gone in to have her fingernails painted. So I drove down, and as a reward I got a slice of lemon cake from Starbucks, which is super exciting. Easy pleased me. So that was a highlight of my afternoon. I have been past Meredith and checked that everybody was managing to cope in the rain. Enzo and Boone have been out running in wild circles, and I can only suggest that they're just totally random wild circles. It's probably a nice change from it having been hot. And we have Alfie and Miss Misty the mule. They are in the front paddock, and they are both sporting bright orange fly boots because they can't keep the other ones on. So they're now both wearing matching bright orange fly boots. And honestly, it's very dull and very grey today, but you won't miss them because they're neon orange. So that is handy. I had to do photographs for the state vet for both Alfie and Misty to lift their quarantine, and didn't manage to get them done until this weekend because I needed a second person to take the photos, because neither of them stand still by themselves, so it was definitely a two-person job. I've got those photos ready to go. Put their fly boots back on and took them back down to the paddock. And they're like dogs when you put boots on their feet. As soon as you put fly boots on, they're doing it's like the Ministry of Silly Walks. Their legs are all over the place, and in fact, Alfie at least was walking in a forward direction. Misty, she turned side on and she was walking sideways with her legs all over the place. So, but they're all fine now and they're running around quite happily. It was very peculiar because I did take Misty and Alfie, I think, are going to stay with us until the grass dries up because we've got stacks of it, and they're just going to keep on munching away. And I thought, well, since that's the case, I'll have her out in hand and him out in hand. He is lovely. He is an absolute little sweetheart. He's just super to take out in hand. He just wanders around with you and toodles about. So he's a happy little chappy. Miss Misty, on the other hand, who is an absolute love bug. You cannot get rid of her in the paddock. She shouts and calls for you. As soon as you're anywhere on that farm, she's calling for you to come over and see her, which is lovely. Take her out of the paddock, and she is an absolute nervous Nelly. And so I'm going to work on taking her around just the outside of the paddock and then popping her back in, and we'll build up to see how far we can get her going. The funniest thing is, though, taking her from the main barn back to the bee barn, it was like, I mean, she can see the paddock, she can see the bee barn, and her eyes were out on stalks, and every time she obviously got really panicked, she would almost like jump on top of me. I felt like Fred from Scooby-Doo, you know, where Scooby-Doo jumps up and you put your arms out and you have to catch them and carry them like a baby. So she every time she decided something wasn't quite right, she was jumping right beside me. And I thought, crikey, I'm going to end up under this mule. But I think she's just a very nervous lady. A total sweetheart, but obviously needs a bit of introduction to the outside world. I thought it was actually that she was just so super attached to Alfie, but he doesn't care whether or not she's there or not, actually. And she's a bit like just any port in any storm, anybody will do. So that's going to be interesting. We have the donkeys going out, Harley and Hedwig. We take them out walking. And in fact, it's not really walking. With Hedwig, it's a bit of a wrestling match, but we leave that to Pam and Karen. And Harley's always happy to go somewhere. And they're having a really super time. So our goats, Milo and Melvin, they're just so happy in the goat gang. The goat gang that includes 2 alpacas, because they're just the funniest looking group. We've got two big gangly alpacas and 4 goats, and they're all quite happy and they're super friends. So that's lovely. Harley, of course, isn't very impressed because there's a heck of a lot of boys in her paddock, and she would rather it was just, you know, her princess paddock by herself. But she's doing well, she's tolerating them, and she's making sure that they know who's in charge, because it most definitely is Miss Harley. There are absolutely no opportunities for anybody else coming to the same level as Harley, in Harley's mind. So she's quite happy and is very keen to keep everybody in line, as she does. So that's super. Enzo, gosh, sometimes somebody sent me an advert, and it was for a mini mule, and I'm like, gosh, we've already got one, and he's a stinker. Well, he's not a stinker, he's fantastic. And he basically, this mule that was sent through in this advert, it was a mini mule, and somebody had ridden it, and somebody said, do you ride Enzo? And I'm thinking, good grief, can you imagine getting in firstly a saddle on the little stinker, and secondly, he would be absolutely indignant if anybody thought he was going to ride him. So I was like, absolutely not. So I know where common sense lies, and it certainly isn't on the back of a mule. So yes, I thought that's amazing that people actually ride these mini mules, because quite frankly, they're quite spirited. And I have always considered putting a little cart behind the little soul, and giving him a wee job transporting goods up and down the hill from the co-op. And I haven't quite got there. I've been trying to do that for about 4 years now, I think. I would really like to do that, because I think it would be very good for him. I think it would be character building, shall we say. And I would have very long arms by the end of it, because he does when he doesn't fancy something, he does take off at speed, and he is super strong with his gravity is so blinking low that he's got more pulling power than I have. So yeah, it's just all these little things that you think about that would be a super idea, and then you put him into the loop, and he's like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't know why you even thought that, idiot. So I'm always looking for some use for him, but he is obviously the paddock protector, and he's really quite funny, because I think he can count the sheep, quite frankly, and he just makes sure that everybody is just where they should be. He does not like dogs walking past the paddock. I sometimes go down and go down the path that goes along the side of the paddock to go and shut the very far back gate. And I take Annie with me, and it's like I'm committing a cardinal offence. It's how dare you? You know, this is absolutely horrific. Either that he's looking for his dinner, could also be that, but we shall see. So this week's super exciting task is Pam and I are in a race to see who can first make labels for the feed room bins, because that's the sort of thing we do. We put labels on things so we can ignore them and totally and utterly confuse everybody else that's coming behind us, which is a great thing. So we've got bits and pieces like that. I'm wanting to get Miss Misty going just a bit more confidently, so that will be exciting. And yeah, and then it's going to be hot weather. And I looked at the long range weather forecast, and it's not looking positive. It's always disappointing. And I'm always surprised when it's just quite so warm in summer. I don't know why. It's I think I live in hope. I wouldn't mind doing 2 cool days and then the rest of the week can be hot, because what I find is when it's very, very hot, I wilt, obviously, and I can't quite get on top of all the physical jobs that I would like to be doing. But if I had 2 cool days, I could get everything done in the 2 days and then sort of like just die the rest of them. So that would be very helpful, but it's just not to be. So let's have a wee looky at the questions. So if you've got anything to ask, have at it. Because, oh, I've actually got my glasses. See, I knew I came prepared today. I came prepared because I'm going to have to sit in this car for hours. Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm scrolling away. There's not one question. How are you and your family and your dogs doing? We are doing very well, although it is terribly hot. But that can't be helped. I do nothing but moan about the weather. I don't think I moan this much in winter, actually. I'll tell you something really funny. Carlene must have been in Costco today. The only reason I know that is because somebody sent me a picture and said, "Is this Carlene?" I was like, yeah, that is Carlene. Oh dear. Today's farm visit was cancelled due to the rain, because I think if you can see the puddles on the courtyard camera, it is there's quite a lot of surface water. Enzo, I think, does miss Ted, but what he has decided to do is take on Boone. So it's horrific, because Boone is 7 or 8 maybe now, and Enzo is 5, and it's like having 2 really, really silly boys, and they just hop, skip and jump all over the place. And Ted, I always felt, was a very sensible, very steadying influence on that whole paddock. Enzo and Boone are just a terrible combination, quite frankly. So I think what I was speaking with the lady who owns the farm today, and I was saying that what I was considering doing was popping Enzo in with Misty for a while and separating him and Boone, and putting the mini horse in with Boone just to see how that goes. So goodness knows how that's going to work, but it's something interesting to see, isn't it? And yeah, so that would be Enzo with another mule. Although the problem is it's a female mule, at which point he might just be all googly-eyed and stupid, because he does get all googly-eyed and stupid, I can tell you. So that should be it. That should be interesting to see. Gosh, Ringo Starr is 86. I would never have put him at 86. That's incredible. Oh yes, Milo and Melvin are having a super time. They are, it's just, they're so active. They're on the go all the time. They're in everything. We were mucking the paddock at the weekend and all four of them were around the wheelbarrow. In the wheelbarrow, they were just generally getting in the way. And the goats get fed from that paddock with all the animals. The goats get fed and separately, so we feed them first because you know what they're like, they're everywhere. So we put them into another little corral and they all go in there and they eat, and then everybody else is still eating. In the alpacas are still eating, the donkeys are still eating, and the goats just start calling because they know everybody else has got food and they think that they're going to go out and help, which they definitely would. So that's the only time they're a bit rambunctious. The rest of the time they're just super sociable. So they're having a great time. They just eat all day. They jump on things. There's a very old sleigh in that paddock, and I'll maybe try and get a picture when they're all on it. I had 3 of them on top of it and 1 of them underneath it, and then they all swap over, and it's like a climbing frame. So they're having a very good time, and they're so sweet. And you know, they just come and speak to everybody. It's like it's their job. Ted ultimately wasn't owned by us. He was owned by another member of the team, and when she moved, she didn't take him with her. She put him into another home. Mules and donkeys eat absolutely everything. You know, seriously, it's they even eat pockets. If you've got treats in your pocket, they've been known to nibble through. So yes, they do eat peppermint. Thank you, Roberta. Yes, there's something very soothing about the rain. So, gosh, I'm going to be here for quite some time. I should go and see Karen McGrath. I think she lives here somewhere. Follow her around. She'll be like, not you again. So, this week, I think, what was Janine saying? I can't remember, actually. I should probably pay far more attention to what people are telling me. I think there must be jobs this week, so those will be covered. I know that on Monday she had quite the collection of animals. Oh, I think Percy's been picked up tomorrow to go to Tufts, so that will be very exciting. Not for Percy, but for everyone else, because we'll probably have to try and get him in the truck. Why they don't utilise a donkey and let them carry some water containers. Have you seen our donkeys? Yeah, that's a really, really good idea. And that's similar to the idea that I had for Enzo helping out with transporting feed and things round about. It probably takes longer to get them pack saddled up and padded up and than it would to be running around, and that's basically probably the reason, because it takes a while. You have to groom them really thoroughly to get any grit off, so that the saddle doesn't sit on top of rough bits that could possibly rub. Then you have to get them all tied up, and then you have to fill the containers, and yeah, they're not that helpful really. So so that's why we don't use that. Although the thing that I do think is very useful is actually that great big wheelbarrow that somebody sent in. It's fantastic. It just goes everywhere. So that's good. And I'm hoping to start, once the weather gets a little bit cooler, working with the little bantams that I have in the white chicken house, and see if I can get them going as a stand-in for the ladies that go out. That's Coco and Chanel. see if we can get some backup there so that Janine would be able to take them down to Aiken when she goes, and then that we would still have some available here. The horned goats have access to inside, they have access to outside, and if they are standing outside in the rain, it's because it's actually quite pleasant. It's not very cold, and they're just doing their goat thing. There's no rhyme nor reason to what they do. I also have a rooster that's running around that paddock, and you know, I'm not sure what to tell you, but if they like the rain and they like lying in it or wandering around in it, they've got water inside, they've got hay inside, they've got hay outside. There's definitely water outside, that much I can tell you. And we're just letting them be themselves. So there. They do also have access onto the pond area. So they've been back and forward down there as well. So because I nearly had a heart attack because I couldn't find one. And it was, of course, our favourite head-butting goat. And so I was like, I've lost Mabel. I can't believe I've lost Mabel. And then I saw her. She was away over in the pond area, honestly. Oh, because she's the one that you worry about, because she's the one that likes to headbutt people. So I was like, no, we're all okay, all sorted. I found her. We're all safe, all safe. So that's us for Tuesday. And we'll be back to usual weather tomorrow. And then I'll be back on Thursday. And we shall take it from there. So I hope you have a lovely evening. And see you on Tuesday.